Good morning, people. You already know who it is. If you don't know, I'm Davon Nelson. Was up this morning, had some stuff on my heart. Just want to share my heart. This video is geared more towards parents, and the reason being is, you know, some of y'all know my story and know what I, had to experience coming up as a child. But at the age of 36, I still have questions that I feel have been unanswered. And I believe as parents, because I am a parent myself now, and as a parent, I feel like it's a parent's job to help a child maneuver through life. Doesn't matter how old or young they are or get. I feel like it's a parent's job to help that child maneuver through life because you may look at your child on the surface and see your child, but under the surface of the flesh and this temple is still a soul, it's still a spiritual being. And it's your job to nurture and lead that spiritual being, especially when that spiritual being didn't ask to come to earth. Don't just get caught up on the surface of, that's my child, my son, my daughter, or whatever the case may be. But look at the fact that God blessed you and entrusted you with a spiritual being that you have to lead and nurture. And if it's things that happen before that spiritual being or your child, your daughter, or your son comes, it's your job to help them maneuver through life and give them what I like to call the playbook of life. And what I mean by the playbook of life is you don't have to help them figure all their life out because God has, given each child their own path to walk down. But it's your job, especially fathers, it's your job to aim that child down the path that they are supposed to go. And if it's something that you didn't get from your father, then it's okay. If you don't know, you don't understand, then it's okay to want to learn. But if you continually run from the responsibility of learning because the learning is your responsibility, whether you know it now or then, it's your job to learn. Like with me, for an example, I use myself for an example. um having my kids, I can't just use the excuse of me not having a father when I was a child as as my crutch or as my excuse to not want to show them love or nurture or lead them down the path that they're supposed to go. It's not my, like, I have to take the responsibility, and if it's something that I don't know, I have to take the responsibility and learn it. And it's okay to not know everything, but what you can't do, one thing that you really give up when you have kids is yourself. Like, you can't be a selfish person and still be an effective parent. It's impossible to do because having kids, when you become a parent, having kids, it's a sacrifice. Meaning you gotta die to yourself. And this is why I feel like God entrusts a man to lead his family and his household first, which you probably have heard oftentimes that your home is your first ministry, in which it is. And just to be clear, the word ministry means serve or service. So when people think about ministry and stuff like that, it's not this just major thing. It just boils down to serving. So a man must learn to serve at home first before he can serve the world. You can't go out here and try to help somebody else's home and stuff like that, and you losing at home. God isn't going to bless anything. You can have all the dreams and aspirations that you desire to have. That's cool, but God is not going to put his favor and his name, so to speak, on it, because what you're supposed to be taking care of, you're not taking care of. And just to be clear, like, being a parent don't always boil down to money. Yes, providing for financially is a very important part to taking care of your kids, but you can't forget about emotional support as well. You can't be so good over here, you good at handing out a dollar bill, but your child is hurting, deep down on the inside. That's where talking and opening up and being transparent, despite the reaction of the child. Be open and transparent, because you know what you may have to tell your child, it may hurt. But one thing I do know, when a broken bone is broken, like for instance, my son Gideon, a few weeks ago, he was trying to climb on our bed and he fell off and he broke his arm. He broke his elbow. It wasn't a real bad break, but he broke his elbow. And when it came time to put the cast on, they had to set his arm in a place where it was painful to him. But fast forward a few weeks after that, his arm, his elbow actually healed, and he's actually done started like growing new bone in that place. So it may hurt. What you have to tell your child may hurt in that moment, but it's like setting that broken bone. In order for something to grow back stronger, it has to be broken first. And so it's your responsibility to be transparent on your end, because it may help give your child a playbook to maneuver through life. Because guess what? Whether you believe this or not, like, your kids will fight demons that come down through the bloodline. Whether you believe that or not, a lot of the mental illnesses and people struggling with depression and anxiety and all this stuff, a lot of that stuff stem from unmet needs, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever the case may be. So a lot of people are dealing with that, and you might look at them on the surface and see them smiling, but you don't even realize that deep down on the inside that they are hurting spiritually. And so if you be transparent with them up front, it'll help them down the road to know how to maneuver or fight against that thought, or that feeling, that emotion, whatever the case may be. And don't make it difficult for your child to want to talk to you, because you have to be willing to listen to their feelings and not internalize their emotions, not internalize the feeling, but actually let them talk, because it's in you listening and providing an ear for them. It's healing is in that for them. You can't make it all about yourself. And just because your child say something to you that rubs you the wrong way, or you might not like what they are saying, and you internalize it, now you get in your feelings and you get upset with them, but you fail to listen to that child, and then they walk away from that conversation not feeling heard. Then you don't see when they're going through mental instabilities, or feeling down, or feeling like a failure, or you don't be around to witness that, but it happens. And if you be transparent up front with them, and just help them maneuver through life by just listening and being transparent on your end. You know, um, I've dealt with a lot of mental instabilities myself. I used to smoke weed, used to drink, the whole nine, used to party and still wasn't fulfilled. It was because I was trying to replace a void. And, even at the age of 36, I still have questions that I feel like, I deserve answers to. So, hopefully I would get those answers. Hopefully I can sit down and have that talk with my parents, and be heard, and not have the emotions internalized, and somebody look at me in the wrong way, or have, whatever the case may be. So it's all about just listening to your child. Like, parents, you got kids, whatever happened before they came, sit down and share with them, talk with them, make time for them. Don't miss out on opportunities. Like me being transparent, I'm being open and transparent. I'm not trying to put nobody on blast, but this is my truth. This is me opening up and being transparent. Like, when I played football, I played for Southside High School. Shout out Southside High School. I played Southside, played with them, um, and when it came time for the banquet, like, nobody from my family was at my banquet to watch me receive my MVP trophy. I won the MVP of defense, playing for JV, and nobody from my family was at that banquet. And it that hurt. That really did. It hurt because I received a standing ovation, but nobody from my family was a part of that standing ovation to celebrate an accomplishment that I worked hard. I literally, if you played football, you would know exactly what I mean. We put in hard work, from tour days to spring practice to, it's a lot of sacrifice that goes into playing football, so, but when I received that trophy, it meant something to me. It meant the world to me because it was my hard work paying off, and I won a trophy. Like, that was huge to me. But to look out, like, on the cusp of me receiving an award and a trophy that meant so much to me, at the same time, I'm still feeling empty and smiling for all these people. Like, yeah, I'm talking about the whole. I think we was in the cafeteria of Southside High School. The whole cafeteria, everybody was standing up clapping for me, but nobody from my family was there clapping for me. And so it's stuff like that hurts, and when you don't really deal with stuff like that and you hold on to it, you can get older, and it can manifest itself in smoking weed, or it can manifest itself in drinking. It can manifest itself in running women. Now, I wasn't running women, because I am married. But it's a lot of arguments that me and my wife had that I feel like came from me harboring that emotion. And you can't just say, "Oh man, that happened so long ago. You got to get over it." And it's not that easy. It, like, as a child, like, if your child is putting in work and is being told hard work pays off, be willing to make the same equal sacrifices to match the hard work, so it can give that child motivation and inspiration to continue on going. And so, it's moments like that I've forgiven, and because that's the type of person that I am. If you know me, you know me, but I've forgiven, and I'm working on moving on, but it's still things that I have questions on, and it's still things that I wish I knew the answers to, and I still deal with to this day. I'm not perfect by no means, but at the same time, I do know that a lot of my issues are rooted in unanswered questions. So as parents, I want you to, really, really tune into this video and hear what I'm saying or trying to articulate, because it's very vital. Don't make life, especially if you have kids. This only for the ones who have kids, because as a parent you'll understand. But don't make life so much about yourself that you miss out on moments to help your child succeed later on in life. What it all boils down to is investments. Don't miss an opportunity to build equity with your child so they can be successful down the road and they cash out on that equity. And I ain't talking about no money or physical money. I'm talking about the equity of love, the equity of feeling appreciated, the equity of being seen. That to me is the equity of a parent relationship with their child. A relationship is a relationship, whether it's parental, whether it's marital or business, whatever the case may be. Is a relationship is a relationship, and it's an investment, and you have to look at it like an investment. And if you never put nothing into that investment, you can't expect to cash out on the equity later on. So it's all about building that relationship with your child, so they can have that, so they don't feel abandoned, so they don't feel rejected, so they don't feel, it's certain things that you can help them maneuver over and get through in life if you just take the time to not put the spotlight on yourself, but say, you know what, I seen your hard work, I'm proud of you. Just those simple words like, I seen your hard work, I'm proud of you. Just be there physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It ain't always about finances. It's not always about that. But emotional support, emotional stability is the foundation to help them build a brighter future down the road. So help be around for that stuff like that. Because you never know what your child really can become if you put the necessary investment in now. you know like just being there, just listening. When they talk, you might not understand their feelings completely, but if you take time to try to understand them, just listen to what they are saying. I don't care what age they may be at. They may just be starting out talking, or they may be in middle school, may be in high school, may even be in college. Now, whatever level they are on, be willing to listen to them. Be willing to sit down and hear the hard stuff, because it's in your listening as a parent that'll help your child get the healing that they need so they can succeed and maneuver through life. If you really want to help your child out, sit down and listen to them. You might be good at providing them with finances. It's cool. Nothing is wrong with that. But they may be lacking emotionally. They may be lacking spiritually. And if you just sit down and listen to them for a little bit, it'll bless you down the road. And both of y'all can have freedom, because what you don't want is something and you holding on to it for years, and thinking that by you not telling them that you are protecting them, and that may not be the case. You not telling them may actually be hindering them, because they may have questions that you actually hold the answer to, but you refuse to say anything to them about it, because in your world, in your mind, you are helping them. Mm-mm. Sit down and be transparent. You can't expect your child to be transparent if you never show them how to be transparent. Remember, God entrusted you to lead and guide them and nurture them. It's your job to lead by example. Then that child will feel safe with opening up to you. But if you never show that transparency yourself, then don't expect it from your child. Lead by example. So man, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Crush your day today. Let this video hit home for you. If it's not for you, keep scrolling. Thank you for your time. But if it's for you, you'll know God will speak to you. And take it however you want to take it. Love y'all. Deuces.